Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on match day Thursday. Arsenal in action tonight against Liverpool, the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Should have been the second leg, but it all got called off last week, didn't it? And as you will hear later on in this video, when I look ahead to tonight's game, some worrying team news for Arsenal, and that's going to make that game being called off last week even more frustrating. But first, I just wanted to talk about transfers. We are obviously banging transfer season, and a couple of things to discuss today. Arthur, Emile, the Juventus midfielder, and Youri Tielemans as well. We'll start with Arthur. Arsenal have made contact with Juve over a potential loan move until the end of the season. For the Brazilian, this is a type of midfield deal that I've been saying in previous videos, I really see happening this window. A short-term thing, a loan thing, and then in the summer they can really focus on their main targets, and that's when I'll get to Tielemans later on in this video. But yeah, Arsenal are looking to get something done with Arthur. It's not done yet. Nothing's agreed with Juventus. But there is a willingness on all sides to make this deal happen, as far as I'm aware. But there are a few things that need to happen first in terms of Juventus. Certainly need to find a replacement. They don't want to let Arthur go this month without bringing someone else in. They are interested in Bruno Guimaraes, who obviously is a player who has been heavily linked with Arsenal as well. But as far as I'm aware, speaking to people over in Italy, that Bruno deal is going to be very hard for Juve to complete this month, given the finances involved. They think it might well be too expensive. There is a chance that they could agree a loan deal for Bruno, but that would come with a €45 million obligation to buy in the summer, and Juve's finances are not that great, and they're not sure where they're going to finish this season either, because they're not having the greatest of seasons over in Italy, so they're not sure if they'll be in the Champions League and have that sort of finances available. So committing to such a big outlay in the summer is not something they really want to do at the moment. So I don't think it, just from people that I speak to, and I'm not absolutely clued up when it comes to Juventus, but certainly people I speak to, Romeo Agresti, who's the goals correspondent over there, is very well in Juve, and he thinks that's going to be a difficult deal for them to do. But he does believe that they will still be able to sign someone on loan this month, and that will free up Arthur to move on. Now, Arthur wants to get out and play more minutes. They've got the World Cup coming up that he obviously wants to be a part of. And the move to England is quite an appealing one for him. For Arsenal, it would be a short-term thing, which is what I've always felt they would probably do when it comes to a midfielder this month. Until the end of the season, they'll pay his wages, which are not astronomical by any means, and they're getting they would be getting a talented footballer, a good midfielder, but it also comes with a caveat, as he's going to need to hit the ground running. He's going to need to adapt pretty well. He's never played in England before, so you could say it is a little bit of a risk, but he's a good player. It hasn't quite worked out for him over in Italy since he's moved there from Barcelona. But he is a decent player, I think, and I don't think he'd be coming in as a first choice midfielder, because once Thomas Partey's back from AFCON, it'll be Partey and Xhaka in midfield if they're both fit, I believe. And what Arthur would provide is just another quality midfielder, which is what Arsenal absolutely need to boost their squad, with Ainsley Maitland-Niles having gone to Roma. So there's one to keep an eye on. I don't think it's done by any means. Like I said, there's things that need to be sorted out, certainly from the Juventus side in terms of bringing in a replacement, but there is, I believe, an openness from all sides for this deal to potentially happen. So it's one to keep an eye on as things progress over the next coming days, or maybe stretch out to a week, depending on how quickly Juventus can potentially get some deals done their end. So that's the latest when it comes to Arthur. But now we'll move on to Youri Tielemans. Now, I wrote a story that went out on Goal yesterday. If you haven't seen it, head over to my socials. You'll find the link there. And it's kind of focusing on the whole Arthur and Tielemans thing, what I'm talking about now, basically. And from my understanding, Arsenal are interested in signing Youri Tielemans, and they have been in talks with his agent, sort of sounding out a potential deal. His agent, I believe, has been at London Colney visiting in recent weeks to have meetings with Arsenal. Now, Tielemans only has 18 months left on his contract at Leicester. It doesn't look at the moment like he's going to sign an extension. Leicester are still hoping that he will, and they'll keep trying. but it doesn't look at this stage like he will. And so lots of clubs around Europe are positioning themselves to try and be in a position to sign Youri Tielemans in the summer should he become available, which we think he probably will, because he'll have a year left in Juventus, and Leicester will want to cash in on him rather than lose him on a free the following year. And Arsenal want to be involved in the mix when it comes to Tielemans. I'm not saying they're going to sign him by any means, but they want to be involved in the mix and to have a chance should he become available. And so they're doing plenty of groundwork now to be in that mix come the summer if the opportunity arises. I think you look at Tielemans, he's Premier League ready. He knows the game. He's ready to sort of kick on to a real high level. I think he's only 24. He's a talented player. I mean, some people have talked about is maybe a lack of mobility and he needs to work on his fitness, that sort of thing. You would hope, 24, this is the age now where he can start approaching his peaking and you can really work on that. But I think he's a quality player. I really like Youri Tielemans, I have to admit. Really smart football brain. And I think he could be a really good signing, really decent signing for Arsenal. But look, they're going to face a lot of competition for him because he's a very good player. And I'm not saying he's absolutely their number one target by any means, but Arsenal's certainly interested in a move for Tielemans, and I think that's one for the summer, which is why I think the Arthur deal now makes sense. You get yourself a loan player in who comes in, provides a quality presence in the squad between now and the end of the season, and it gives you time to really focus on your key targets when it comes to the summer, which will be Tielemans. It could be Ruben Neves, who Arsenal were interested in last season. It didn't happen. Could be available next summer, and Arsenal may well rekindle their interest in a player like Ruben Neves, and that's just why I think the Arthur deal for me it makes sense, and you can really kick on then in the summer and focus on your big targets, whether that be, whether that means that Tielemans will sign, we'll have to wait and see, but he's certainly a player that Arsenal are interested in. So that's the latest. When it comes to transfers, not much else going on. Balogun obviously completed his move to Middlesbrough finally yesterday. That was confirmed, which is good. Looking forward to seeing how he gets on between now and the end of the season. Really big opportunity for him to kind of make his mark in senior football, because let's face it, he just hasn't done that yet, other than a few cup games and Europa League games for Arsenal. This is his big opportunity to really go in the Championship second half of the season and make a name for himself and show that he is ready to step up to senior football, which I think he certainly is. He's shown that he's outgrown under 23s football, and now it's just a case of finding his feet in senior football and hopefully having a sort of loan that Emile Smith-Rowe enjoyed at Huddersfield. And when you look at that loan that Smith-Rowe had at Huddersfield, he didn't play every game, he didn't start every game, but he made an impression. He got better and better, and he forced his way into the side, had some key moments there. He didn't tear up any trees or anything. He wasn't spectacular at Huddersfield, but it was just a really good grounding loan for him, and that's what I expect from Balogun while he's at Middlesbrough. If he doesn't score 10 goals between now and the end of the season, that is not a failure by any means for Balogun. It's just a good step up. If he can get himself a few goals, just begin to learn what senior football is about, then I think that's going to be a really beneficial loan for him. And who knows, he might go out on loan again next season. We'll have to wait and see. But looking forward to seeing how Balogun gets on at Middlesbrough. Okay, so that's enough for transfers. I've got to talk about Liverpool now, tonight's game. And I've just put out on Goal some team news that I have heard, and it's not great. I believe that Martin Odegaard looks like he is going to be out of tonight's game, and that's the same when it comes to Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe obviously missed in the Forest game. I don't think he's recovered to be involved tonight, and from what I understand, Martin Odegaard hasn't made the trip either. I'm not sure what Odegaard's problem is, but I don't think he was even at the training ground yesterday. Hopefully it's not COVID, but if it is, I mean, that's going to put him, well, you'd think that's him definitely out of the Tottenham game at the weekend as well. We'll have to wait and see what Arsenal say later on tonight when they give the reason for Odegaard's absence. If he is absent, I'm pretty sure he is. And that is a big, big blow for Arsenal. I mean, no Smith-Rowe, no Martin Odegaard. So there's no number 10 really that you would think of. And I do wonder if this might mean a change of system when it comes to Arsenal. From my understanding, Tomiyasu isn't playing either. He is out. Granit Xhaka, I do believe, is going to be involved. I think he's ended his isolation period now and is going to be involved in some capacity. Whether he starts, who knows, but you think, given Arsenal's problems when it comes to midfield, we know there's no Thomas Partey, no Mohamed El Neni, that Xhaka will probably go straight in to the starting lineup if he is indeed fit and recovered from COVID, which I believe he is. And And so it's it's issues for Mikel Arteta that he's going to have to deal with here. And you look at Liverpool, from Liverpool's team news, as far as I'm aware, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who obviously would have missed last week's first leg, he tested positive. He's back. Alisson is back. I think Alisson's going to start in goal as well. There's no Thiago, no Origi. Andy Robertson was a slight doubt, but I think he's going to be involved. I mean, other than Salah and Mane, who we know are away at AFCON, Liverpool are going to be in very good shape by the looks of it for tonight's game. They're going to be very strong. I mean, they played a blinder here, haven't they, Liverpool? When you look at what they could have, the team they probably would have had to put out last Thursday, they managed to get that postponed, and now Arsenal are looking very, very short indeed for the first leg. I mean, it's a bit of a disaster for Arsenal. And I do wonder what Mikel's going to do. Will this mean a change in system for tonight's game? You think there's no number 10. If Odegaard and Smith Rowe aren't there, you can't really play the 4-2-3-1 that we've seen and that Arteta seems to favour. So I wonder if we might even see three at the back for this one. Sort of take the number 10 out of it. You've got to remember this is a two-legged game, and Arsenal need to stay in this game, don't they? To try and give themselves a chance in the second leg, when hopefully Smith Rowe, Odegaard will be available. So I wonder if he might go with a three at the back tonight and play the extra defender, take the number 10 out of the equation, and just try and keep things tight and keep themselves in the game. It's certainly an option, I think, and because you just don't want to play yourself out of it. And we've seen Arsenal time and time again at Anfield lose by, I mean, it's 4-0 earlier in the season, wasn't it, in the league? It's been, and they just concede goals every 5 minutes, it seems, whenever they play at Anfield. And should that happen tonight, then next week's second leg's just going to be a foregone conclusion. Liverpool already be through, so they need to try and keep themselves in the game and keep things tight. And that's why I do wonder if an extra defender today might well be the way that Mikel Arteta thinks, given the lack of options he has going forward in that, certainly in that attacking midfielder role. So in terms of my predicted 11 for tonight, this is what I'm going to go for. And again, this is not, I haven't heard anything, but this is what I think he might well go for. And I reckon we could see three at the back tonight. So this is the 11 that I think. Leno, I think probably again will get the nod over Ramsdale, as he has done in the cup competition. So Leno in goal. I'm going to go a back three of Ben White, Rob Holding and Gabriel. Gabriel's available again, which is good. He would have missed the first leg last week, but he is available now. So Ben White, Rob Holding and Gabriel. And then I'm going to go Cedric Suarez at right wing back, Kieran Tierney at left wing back. I'm going to go with a midfield of Sambi and Granit Xhaka, and then a front three of Saka, Martinelli and Lacazette. So that's my predicted 11 for tonight. Leno in goal, Ben White, Rob Holding, Gabriel, the wing-backs of Cedric and Nuno Tavares, Granit Xhaka and Sambi in midfield, and then Martinelli, Saka and Lacazette as the front three. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, is that the sort of team you would go for tonight, given the potential absentees, or would you do anything different? Let me know. Put your starting 11s in the comments below. I'm not going to be at Anfield tonight. Unfortunately, I can't make it because of school run duties in the morning. I didn't fancy doing the whole journey back and getting in at 4 a.m. So I would have stayed up there normally in a hotel, but not going to do that tonight. So I'm not there, but I will be covering the game as usual from home. So please do keep an eye out on my socials for updates from the game and press conference afterwards. I'm not sure I'll do player ratings tonight, but I'll pop on tomorrow, do a bigger video and do player ratings in that and reflecting on what hopefully might be a decent first leg for Arsenal. Fingers crossed, given what the absentees, it's going to be a difficult night. I think we all know that, but let's wait and see how things pan out. I think Amari Hutchinson has travelled. He obviously scored a very, very good goal for the under-21s on Monday night in that win against Chelsea in the Papa John's Trophy. He was on the bench against Notts Forest last weekend as well. I mean, he has been playing number 10. He played number 10 against Chelsea in that Papa John's game. So he could potentially be an option, but I think it would be a big ask throwing Hutchinson straight in for his first senior start, let alone appearance at Anfield in the semi-final of a League Cup. But who knows? You never know. Right, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Appreciate your time as always. Please do have a good day, and tonight, wherever you're watching around the world, enjoy the game. Fingers crossed we can get a decent result. Speak to you soon.